Alright, everybody, welcome back. So, trying to, weave in and out of my collection here so I can get everything in, but I don't want to do too much at one time, so kind of bear with me here. This is another one of my favorites from Cold Steel. So let's get into it, everybody. Let's talk blades because that's what we're into. Sorry. Kind of reaching over in a funky position here. So what I got for you today is the Cold Steel Frontier Bowie. This is not exactly a new model. I can't exactly say that it's an old model because apparently it's still pretty damn popular. Yeah, I think that's the right. Yeah, we can go with that. So, if you guys like hiking, if you guys like obscene large knives that are kind of like mini swords, if you guys like Cold Steel, then you will like this knife. This was something that I used to. I took on a couple of hiking excursions. The only reason why I stopped carrying it was because of the backlash I've been hearing about certain things about this knife that can simply fall apart, which I'm trying to keep it all in frame. It's pretty huge. It is a very big knife. I'll probably pan out, zoom out with this with the camera, even though I'm just really just going to pick up the camera so you guys get a decent, full picture of it. It's a great knife. It's a bit expensive. Yeah, if you're looking at something that's, when I got this, it was close to $200. Now the price on it has dropped to $124.30. I purchased this knife, I want to say about like 6 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago. This is something that's always been in my collection. Had it for some time. It's seen very little use. Like I said, I've only taken it with me to a couple of hikings, and it was kind of nice. It was a bit heavy, obviously, because it's huge and it's Cold Steel, and, huge is kind of what they go for, a little outlandish. The only reason why I stopped carrying it was because of this. Now, it's got this metal cap, butt cap on the end. A lot of people say that this will just come off because this is simply just glued on. And when it's glued on like that, there's not really much you can do other than just try not to make it fall off. I haven't had any problems with this coming off. It doesn't seem to be loose. But the purpose of this would be if you were to fall off your horse or something to that effect, this blade wouldn't poke through the sheath. So that's what I've been told that this is here for, to keep it straight and in place where it's needed to be. Sorry about that. My neighbors got this ridiculously loud, obnoxious engine in this retarded-looking van. Makes no sense why he has that, but he's, whatever. Each to his own. I hate every time he starts that engine up, it literally, you can hear it from blocks away. It's fantastic, to say the least. Anyways, so I like the design, the overall design of this. This swivels, which was a little bit annoying to me when I was walking around with it. But it's all good that they use the leather that they use on this. So you got this closure right here, so you can take this off if you really wanted to. Sorry. You could take this part off if you wanted to. Of course, I don't do that. I just keep it all together. It's kind of pointless otherwise. Everything has a purpose, I believe, and I try not to mess with anything too much if I can't help it, Still a great knife. The amount of leather that's used on this, real leather, is to me, it's pretty damn good. I very much enjoy it. Trying to make sure it's on there. Like I said, this is kind of older for me, so we'll get into the specs. This thing is coated in a black type of metallic paint. Sorry, I'm trying to wipe off all the schmutz that comes from being in the sheath for too long. Excuse me one moment. And is it hair-poppingly sharp? For as big of a knife as it is, I agree. Yes, I think it is pretty hair-poppingly sharp. So, here it is. I tried to clean it up as best as I could. It's a bunch of white and brown specks on it, just from the leather on the inside, which is to be expected. Alright, so, comes in at a 2.9 pounds. It is 1085 carbon steel, and it is a satin clip point. Reminiscent of Bowie, and that's exactly what it is. This is wood handle right here. I don't know what kind of wood. It doesn't really state it. Someone said that it's oak. Someone said that it's cherry. I don't know what it is exactly. If you guys know, please let me know, because I'm getting mixed messages, and some people are telling me that whatever's listed isn't even right anyways. So I don't know. Now, one thing that I really do like about this is that you have a lot of space. Here's my hand. I'm choking up all the way up on the handle right here. You got that much space left over. And the guard is very prominent. It sticks out kind of a lot. And if you want to, you can choke up, because it's got that little choil right there if you really wanted to. And yes, it has a bit of a fuller on there. And what I mean by fuller is what a lot of people call a blood groove. It runs on both sides of the blade, so down here and down here, as you can see, like a dent almost. Very attractive piece, it really is. Pretty dang sharp. I've barely used it for anything, and I've cleaned it up. It's held together with these screws. I want to say screws. Someone told me that they're rivets. I don't see that, but, you know, it's an argument. It's still an argument. It's not bad, you know. If you're wanting something that's gonna last you, that you can beat on, I think this is pretty damn prominent. It's not really my cup of tea because it's very big, very heavy. So, like I said, the weight on this is almost 3 pounds. So this is yeah. And for a fixed blade, that is, you know, if you're looking for a really decent Bowie knife, this will do it. If you're looking for something that's in the $100 range or more. And I'm actually still surprised that Amazon still sells this, because that's exactly where I got this the very first time around, was Amazon. But it's very popular. I've seen a few people with it. I've actually seen a beat up version of it. I have. And this dude who has it, as another person that I know, he actually put serrations on this part down, put serrations on half of the blade, and the tip right here was broken, probably about a good that much was broken off of it. The handguard was a little bit loose, and he was missing a screw from here. Oh, and and his sheath didn't have this on it. It was gone, and it was covered in duct tape. I remember that. That was one thing that caught my eye when he brought it out of his garage. I was like, hey, is that a Frontier Bowie from Cold Steel? And he looks at it, and he goes, what's left of it? So, and he's one of those guys who really, really does a lot of his own, you know, stuff. Surprisingly, nothing about this part on his was broken, which I'm very baffled. As far as everything else was jacked up, this was the only piece that still seemed to be working. This looked a little bit worn, but it was still holding strong. This was still there. This thing still swiveled. There was nothing wrong with this loop. But he had duct tape on the bottom part right here. And of course, yeah, there was a few scratches on this. And the blade was, oh man, it's seen better days. He offered me a decent amount for this. He's like, hey man, I'll buy yours off. I was like, dude, you have one. And he goes, yeah, but you know, I'd rather get a new one. I was like, then buy a new one. Don't go through me. I don't want you to jack mine up, or I don't want to spend, no. This is mine. I'm going to keep it. Thanks. He just kind of gave me that pouty face. I was like, dude, you're horrible with taking care of your stuff, man. I'm sorry. But this is one that I know I enjoy, because for some weird reason, it reminds me of holding the Leonidas 300 sword a little bit, because this thing is, I mean, it's not as big, but it just feels kind of like a 300 Leonidas sword. A little bit. Just a little bit. Not completely. It's just, you know. If you need something to cut some brush in your backyard, or if you just need something to fend off, I don't know, a Wendigo while you're camping, this might help you out. Don't take that literally. I'm kidding. If you have a serious problem with that, you should probably go see a shaman or something. I don't know. The thing about this, though, it is heavy. If you're backpacking or hiking, this is going to weigh you down. I remember that I constantly had to fix my belt when this was on my belt. It's a pretty hefty knife. With all this that you're carrying and this, I'm pretty sure, you know, you're going to feel it. It's not something that you're just going to throw on you and expect it to... No. This is built for a good beating. At least in my book, anyway. Sorry, I just bumped a tripod just now. So yeah, if you're interested in a Frontier Bowie, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just for a sec so you can actually see it. Here it is in all of its glory. So it is, to me, it's one of those cold steel classics, if you're able to get your hands on one. Last I checked on Amazon, I think there was 5 left in stock, I think. There could have been less or more. I'm not entirely sure, but if you're able to find one, even on the secondary market, like eBay or maybe even some other knife outlet online, if it's something you're into, get it. It is going to last you. Now, the only reason why I say that, because of, you know, the buddy of mine who actually beat his up. He purposely beat it up because he wanted to. That's his style. He enjoys destroying the things he owns because it gives character. That's what he says. Because I always ask him, I was like, dude, why do you give so much of your blades such crappy love? And he told me, he's like, well, I like doing that. It shows that it's mine. And I'm like, well, that's cool, you know, and that's a good reason. That's a good answer. It's yours. You do whatever the hell you want to do with it. But my thing is, if you want it to last, just don't abuse it, and you'll be just fine. Okay? This had minimal use, and this thing is practically brand new. You know, and that's my thing, though. I don't hard use anything that I own because I always treat it with respect. It's just how I am. I'm not going to beat on something unless I know it's, you know, built for that. Firstly, secondly, I'm not going to do it unless it needs to be done. You know, that's like, I know a lot of people sit there and say, oh, if you have a crowbar and you're never going to use it, then it's useless. I understand that logic. I really do. But if you don't need a crowbar, then don't buy it. You know what I mean? I don't need these knives. I still have them, but I don't know. I'm being really weird right now. I think it's, you know, I don't know if that logic really makes too much sense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kind of logic. That's kind of how I flow. But at the same time, if it doesn't need to be breaking, don't break it. I think that's probably the better term. I don't know. I need more sleep. Anyways, if you guys like this video, go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe. Trying to think of my words here. Okay. Be kind. Be safe. Please carry responsibly. If you're interested in this knife, I'm sure it's still out there, and it is still a knife that you can still find. It's not been discontinued. For a while, I actually thought it was discontinued. Only because for a time I think it was hard to find. And then it was brought back at some point because somebody said something about it being in popular demand and people started, this could have been years ago for all I know. I don't really remember. But this is a good Bowie knife. It's just heavy, clunky, huge, but that's cold steel for you. So, I don't know. Go ahead and hit that bell icon so you guys are notified when I post new stuff. If you weren't too irritated by my rambling that didn't make too much sense, because I don't really think it made too much sense to me, then thank you. If not, I'm so sorry. I'll see you guys in the next video.